think we're pulling up my slides right now, and while they're doing that, I'd like to wish everyone good morning. I'm the program manager for the County of San Diego Solid Waste Planning section. This is my eighth actual symposium, and I know how much work happens behind the scenes, so I'd like to thank all the organizers for making today's event possible. I'm going to be talking today about our programs to reduce waste. And for a quick overview, I'll briefly cover the state requirements and goals, then discuss our county goals and programs, and then wrap up with the strategy to meet our waste, climate, and environmental initiatives. Next slide. So there's several state requirements for increased waste diversion. Jurisdictions are required to achieve a 50% diversion rate and implement comprehensive recycling programs. Businesses, multifamily complexes, and construction and demolition or C&D projects all have specific recycling requirements. The state has also set goals for statewide waste diversion, including to achieve 75% waste diversion overall, to reduce organic waste disposal 75% by 2025, and to significantly increase edible food recovery by the same year. Next slide. So what are the county's goals for reducing waste? Well, the Board of Supervisors adopted the strategic plan to reduce waste in April 2017, which set a goal to reach 75% waste diversion in the unincorporated county by 2025. And the Climate Action Plan in 2018, which extended that goal to 80% waste diversion by 2030. Achieving this goal would account for approximately 9% of the total emission reductions needed in our Climate Action Plan. Next slide. So how's the county doing? Well, the latest data we have available is for 2018, and landfill disposal countywide was 3.55 million tons and 512,000 tons in the unincorporated county. The state calculated diversion rate for the unincorporated county was 60%. So when you look at this waste composition pie here on this data, the largest disposal categories are organic materials and construction demolition materials, or C&D, representing more than 2/3 of our waste stream. And food waste alone is the single largest material type, disposed to 15%. Next slide, please. So to increase our diversion rate, we're targeting 3 key areas of focus: C&D, organics, and the franchise haulers that manage these materials. Next slide. The pie shown on this slide represents the total waste to be reduced to reach our diversion target. Of these materials, nearly 3/4 are related to franchise waste hauler services. As a note, some of the materials here that are shown on the pie overlap with the organics and C&D categories. So in alignment with our strategic plan and new state requirements, we propose revisions to our solid waste ordinance and franchise hauler agreements to increase program requirements, set diversion goals, increase assistance and outreach, divert organic materials, and provide accountability through liquidated damages. We plan to bring these proposed changes for the Board of Supervisors' consideration this spring. Next slide. So for our C&D program, the Board of Supervisors adopted ordinance updates last February, which lowered the threshold for projects subject to increased oversight from 40,000 square feet and greater to 1,000 square foot and greater. Through these changes, we anticipate diversion will increase from 4,000 to 44,000 tons per year. In our upcoming board item, staff also proposed that C&D haulers become franchised and meet the same waste diversion standards. Next slide. And so you can't see it on this slide for some reason. I'm not sure why it's not showing it, but it was 24% of the overall waste was from C&D. In the organic materials, 39% here of the total pie. So in the organic materials, several new programs are proposed, including hauler requirements to collect food scraps, promotion of food waste prevention and donation, support for on-site composting, and ordinance revisions to both encourage organic materials processing and to require residents and businesses to participate in diverting these materials. Next slide. So that covers the changes we plan to bring to the board. I'll now talk about our existing programs, starting with the use of recycled materials. So as we were developing updates to our C&D ordinance, stakeholders called for the expanded use of recycled C&D materials, both to extend the life of the region's limited virgin construction aggregate supply and also reduce the waste. In response, the county created a Building Better Roads Committee, which has and continues to foster productive collaborations between staff at the county, other local governments, contractors, and material providers to reduce barriers to expanding the use of recycled content materials. The annual road maintenance projects at the county are an example of our commitment to the use of recycled C&D materials. Since 2015, the county has replaced 15% of the virgin aggregate used in asphalt concrete with reclaimed asphalt pavement, and over 66,000 tons of rubberized asphalt concrete, representing 100,000 used tires in our asphalt resurfacing projects. Next slide, please. To help multifamily complexes, schools, and businesses to reduce waste, our program offers technical assistance in right-sizing services, educating tenants, employees, and students, and offering promotional materials and bins. Next slide, please. In collaboration with I Live a Clean San Diego, we offer a hotline and database, wastefreesd.org, to help residents and businesses learn how and where to recycle, repair, donate, or dispose just about anything. We also offer educational presentations to schools, community groups, and the public. We understand that many of our residents report recycling regularly, but are often unsure of what materials are recyclable. Research shows that people would do more to reuse, and recycle if they were given information by a trusted source, such as a government agency, friend, or family member. So we've developed a public education campaign, Recycle Right, to encourage proper recycling and reduce contamination. Next slide, please. And as we discussed, food waste represents such a large target, and to ensure the highest value for people, profits, and planet, we prioritize our efforts using the food recovery hierarchy, which starts first with food waste prevention, then food donation, feeding animals, and finally composting or processing what's left over. To implement this strategy, we offer technical assistance, created a food donation guide for businesses in collaboration with our Department of Environmental Health and Feeding America San Diego, created food storage point of purchase displays for grocery stores, and a newsletter to showcase our local efforts. We've been actively encouraging food recovery through collaborations with our partners, including the county's Food System Initiative to implement the Food Donation Action Plan, with the San Diego Food System Alliance to promote food recovery and co-chair a regional working group, and with local jurisdictions by creating planning tools and leading countywide organics and edible food capacity planning efforts. Next slide, please. To help activate the public in managing organic materials, we encourage composting by working with retailers to offer low-cost compost and vermicompost bins. We also partner with the Solana Center to offer a variety of composting trainings ranging from backyards to farms and schools, maintain multiple compost demonstration sites, and conduct dozens of school presentations. Next slide, please.
1 minute, Mike.
Starting in 2022 with the SB 1383 requirements to divert organic, cities and counties will need to meet population-based targets to buy processed organics like compost, mulch, and renewable natural gas. Without sustainable end markets for these materials, SB 1383 will not be successful. We need to buy recycled to close the loop. And though these required purchases will drive demand, they represent only a small portion of the projected supply of these materials. So we still have work to do. Rick, this is my last slide, but it may go just a little longer.
Okay, you get a little bit.
Thank you. A key strategy to drive demand is to educate land managers on the benefits of compost and mulch, which have been underappreciated. Fortunately, new research is expanding our knowledge. Did you know that the Earth's soils contains about 2,500 gigatons of carbon? That's more than 3 times the amount of carbon in the atmosphere and 4 times the amount stored in all living plants and animals. And the soil, in combination with the plants that grow on it and in it, has the potential to suck a dramatic amount of carbon dioxide out of the air and store it underground. Research published by the Rodale Institute noted that if farmers adopted regenerative practices, which include applying compost, the soil could sequester 100% or more of our carbon emissions. In fact, the Marine Carbon Project, conducted by the University of California and others, modeled patterns in carbon and greenhouse gas dynamics following compost applications over long periods. Results indicated a long-term increase in carbon capture and that this storage of carbon would persist for 30 to 100 years. Additionally, incorporating compost can significantly increase the soil's water holding capacity, reduce erosion, improve water quality, and buffer soil temperatures during extreme weather, promoting climate resilience. These are just a couple of the reasons why California created the Healthy Soils initiatives to foster these practices. And there's lots of interest now from farmers, public agencies, and land managers. So to capitalize on this potential, the county, City of Chula Vista, and state staff will be presenting the SANDAG's Regional Planning Committee this spring to encourage the incorporation of these practices in their land management strategies. So in closing, if we are to realize these potential climate and environmental benefits, our challenge for all of us is to spread the word and spread the compost. And with that, next slide. That's my presentation. I want to thank everyone for your time. Hope you have a great rest of the symposium, and you've got my contact information if you have any questions. Thank you.